Welcome to My Hometown, the program that explores clubs, organizations, businesses, and issues across Nassau and Suffolk counties and sheds light on the different towns that are making a difference.
Hello and welcome to My Hometown. I'm Bill Horan, along with my co-host, Stacey Rain.
Bill, what shoes are you wearing today?
Oh, I'm wearing my running shoes for sure.
Perfect, because we're going to put them to good use.
Where are we walking?
The Long Beach Boardwalk.
Oh, I love that place.
It is going to be fun, and it's all going to be to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. It's called the U.S. Coffee 4-Mile Run Walk 2024, and we have the organizer and sponsor of the event happening Saturday, March 30th. With us today, Doug Schindler. Doug, welcome to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Doug, let's start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what is U.S. Coffee all about?
Well, thank you for having me here. I do appreciate being a guest. U.S. Coffee is a local office coffee service. We've been in business for 51 years. We provide office refreshments and other supplies for offices in the tri-state area. It was actually started by my father, who is deceased. He actually had leukemia, which is why one of the reasons why we started sponsoring this event.
So it has a personal reason for you.
It does indeed, yes.
That's fantastic.
For me and my whole family.
For the family, too. That's fantastic. And it's nice that you give something back like that, and not only in the area. Now, where is U.S. Coffee based?
We're in Hicksville, very close to
nice.
here.
Okay,
yeah.
Makes it easy.
And we do provide service to the entire tri-state area, mostly Long Island, Manhattan, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
And I think you were telling me before the show, not only businesses, but educational institutions, et cetera.
Any sort of business from Fortune 500 companies to universities, medical centers, down the street business, car dealers, nail salons, any business that needs a coffee machine, a water cooler, and related supplies, that's what we do.
So anyone who needs that caffeine boost to get the work done, right?
That's
exactly right.
So I know this is a fun run, which I love. So can you provide an overview of the history? I mean, you mentioned a little bit about the background, but can you tell us a little bit about when you started it and the history of this event?
Yeah, of course. Well, this is our 10th year sponsoring the event. It's always been in Long Beach, and it's always the Saturday before Easter. So we've always had the same time. The city of Long Beach is a partner with us to provide us access to the boardwalk, along with the Allegria Hotel, which is our place where we meet and get everyone registered. After my father passed away, a gentleman who I did some business with, his name is Bob McIntyre. He's actually in the delivery business. It was called Speed of Sound Delivery. And he also was diagnosed with leukemia. Bob was affiliated with a group from the Leukemia Society called Team in Training, which is a subset of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society that helps patients who were newly diagnosed or through their process, help them run and learn how to run marathons. And it just is something to benefit them while they're going through treatment. So Bob was involved in that. He started running. It helped him greatly. And he asked me if I wanted to be involved with him in starting this race. And of course, I said yes.
So running during treatment?
Running during treatment.
Wow, I would have never thought.
It really helps keep the people strong and keeps them going through it. It's a whole group, sort of training together with other runners. And a lot of them actually end up running marathons and really get into the running scene.
That's incredible. I would have never guessed that you could and should run during treatment. Wow.
I would, as you're saying that, I'm thinking, this is great. Now they're focusing on a goal rather than the illness. And it takes our mind off it. It gives us something to go for. And it's just a whole different mindset. Instead of thinking of, this is bothering me, it could hurt me in life, shorten my life. Now I'm going for a goal. I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at the future. So
and strengthening your body at the same time. It's important.
A really positive way of looking at what they have to go through. And I think it's a great part of a Leukemia Lymphoma Society, just one part of what they do.
What makes this year's race different?
Well, it is the 10th anniversary, so that is a nice milestone.
It is.
And especially after, the tough years of
Pandemic.
the pandemic, where we actually ran 2 years of virtual races where we kept it going, but people could run on their own time and still make their donations. It's nice to be back in person, live, and for the 10th anniversary, we're really trying to promote it and get as many people as possible out there running and walking with us to raise money for this cause.
Well, it's a great time of year and a great location to get out on the boardwalk there in Long Beach. I think we like that anyway, just as an excuse to get done with winter and be out there and to do something and be led by a fellow Long Islander that's so helpful to people who are ill. That's a win-win all the way through.
Yeah, Long Beach is a great city. Running and walking along the boardwalk on a Saturday morning in the springtime is just it's just great. You look at the ocean while you're running, and of course we have great coffee to wake you up at that morning to get you going. We do provide, as part of your registration, you do get we do have bagels and we do have coffee in the morning. You do get a T-shirt. We provide snacks and fruit. So it's really a great day. And also it doesn't take up the whole day. Yeah. It's only a few hours on that Saturday morning.
It's a 4-mile run. Is it just for adults or can kids participate? Who gets to join in on the fun?
It's for anybody who could make it down there. There's runners, there's walkers. The runners do tend to take it pretty seriously. It is a timed event.
Okay.
And the runners do race for trophies. But there are plenty of people who are just strolling and walking the boardwalk. And in the morning before the actual race, we do have a children's fun run also.
Oh,
I don't know what the age is, but it's for the young kids, and it's maybe, they set up like a quarter mile, a half a mile race for them, and they also get medals and trophies.
That same morning?
That same morning.
Okay,
so if the race starts at 9:30, I think the kids start at 9 o'clock.
Oh, I love that.
Doug, I'll ask you this again later in the show, but since we're hitting on it right now, someone's interested in this. How do they get to you? How do they sign up for it? Is there a website? Do they come to your office? What goes on?
There is a website to sign up. It's on active.com. And while the URL for Active is a little long, if you do go to active.com and search for U.S. Coffee 4-mile run, the registration could come up. We also have a tiny URL, which is actually called tinyurl.com/LLS run.
Oh, perfect.
That's the name of it, Tiny.
Tiny URL, yeah. They take long URLs and they shrink them so people could find them easier.
I was going to ask you, is that a mistake? Because I saw that in the notes for the show. And I said, is this from another show or did someone get the wrong word in there? And that now I understand what it means. So,
and we do have a spot on our website also. But again, it's a long URL. So people could also email info@uscoffee.com.
Okay.
And somebody will get back to them and send them the link if they can't remember the URL. So info@uscoffee.com also.
And we can make sure to put it in our show notes. So I'm assuming that you're very good at logistics based on your day job, which is making sure that everyone in the tri-state area is caffeinated. So how do you go about organizing and planning an event such as this? I mean, this is, I know runs take a lot of logistics and planning as well. Tell us your methods.
Well, lucky for me, we have a lot of great people behind it who do most of the organizing. Bob McIntyre, who I mentioned earlier, he is the race director. Him and his family are very involved in volunteering and getting people to volunteer. He also handles the permitting and dealing with the town and the hotel and the local EMT and whatever police presence is necessary there to keep everyone safe. but he handles most of that. We have a lot of volunteers that show up to help register people on site. We do have an announcer every year, a race announcer. It's a timed event, so you do get your time. So there's a lot of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society sends volunteers.
Yeah.
So lucky for me, I just have to be the sponsor, really.
A lot of things we don't think about as you're mentioning them here. And I'm saying, oh my gosh, I wouldn't have thought of that. The police presence, you do need people there because somebody may get in the way, somebody in the ambulance. There could be an injury or just an event that happens where someone gets hurt. So a lot more to it than most of us anticipate, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that go into setting up an event like this, for sure.
I want to take a minute to remind our listeners that you are listening to My Hometown on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Stacey Rain, here with Bill Horan, and we're learning all about the U.S. Coffee 4-mile run walk for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We're talking with the organizer and sponsor of the event that's happening on Saturday, March 30th, and with Doug Schindler.
Doug, are there any notable success stories you'd like to tell us about, or just interesting stories that even happened in the past, or maybe are happening actually this year as we're talking?
Well, I think that, just the success stories are that we keep this going year after year, and the community does come out to support us, and we are raising money for a very good cause. Over the last 10 years, we've raised several $100,000.
Now, those are significant numbers.
Right.
Now you've got our attention.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow. And is there anybody you want to give a shout out to in the Long Island community? Maybe they're helpful. They've just been supportive of you, whether it's an individual or local businesses around here.
Well, I'd always like to thank my family for continuing to support this. My mother, obviously, she's a big supporter. Her husband, passed away, and she still misses him, and this really keeps the event really keeps him fresh in our mind every year.
And what's her name?
Barbara Schindler.
Okay, we got to say hello to Barbara and thank her for her support and everything. Any businesses that are taking part or have been longtime supporters?
A lot of my vendors, a lot of my suppliers, every year do make some donations, so that's always nice. And of course, without Bob McIntyre and his family and his business, the event wouldn't go on.
Well, thank you to all those people.
I've had a lot of I've had several friends that have been affected by leukemia. And so I know how important it is to do events like this that raise money, but also that raise awareness, right? So what is the impact that this particular U.S. Coffee 4-mile run had on raising awareness for leukemia and lymphoma research?
Well, I think we're making significant contributions to the Leukemia Lymphoma Society so they could continue with their research, continue to support team in training, continue to support the patients.
Right.
We're happy to do that.
And also every participant is then probably learning a little bit more about them and able to realize how important it is that we do raise funds and awareness.
100%.
Now, what kind of partnerships do you seek out with Long Islanders as individuals and or businesses that, whether it's a law office or an architectural firm?
Well, of course, other additional sponsorship donations would be great. For a few $100s, you could get your name on the back of the T-shirt.
Ooh, that sounds good.
And, again, hundreds of people are showing up and wearing the T-shirt. I know I'm still wearing my T-shirts from years ago and still getting the word out there. In-kind donations are always appreciated, especially if they're in the snack business or beverage business. And what we're really looking for is just people to show up and run with us, walk with us, and get out there and force local people.
I have a feeling you meet a lot of other very interesting people on these walks, the kind of person most of us wouldn't come across day to day because they're from a different area of Long Island or maybe have a different profession. But it's probably an interesting experience just going through that.
Yeah, there are people from all over the tri-state area that do show up to run and walk. Again, the runners are very into the race. They look forward to it all year long. And people have shown up from further away than you think, but it is still a local event, and we do count on Long Islanders to show up.
I like the food and the T-shirt part. And the coffee. That's
Bill
my
will be
part.
there.
I'll be there. Can people register the day of the race if they come there late, or what is the registration rules?
Yes, you could register day of the event. It's $35 in advance, and I believe it's $40 the day of the race. And you show up at the Allegria Hotel, which is right on the boardwalk. And there's a registration table, and you just have to fill out a form and pay your money. You get your race number, and you could run a walk.
Now, what's the time of the race during the day?
9:30 in the morning. I would suggest everyone get there at least a half hour in advance, probably 9 o'clock.
Unless you're running the kid route and then it's
Exactly right. Unless you're bringing your family.
Yeah. So I know that once people sign up, they always go and they look at the route because that's fun, right? To see where you're going to go. Can you tell us a little bit about the route, and is it the whole length of this boardwalk?
Oh, the boardwalk, Long Beach Boardwalk is pretty long. So what we do, it's a 4-mile run. So we all gather at the Allegria Hotel. It's a mile down one way, a mile back, and then it's a mile the other way and a mile back. And that's the 4 miles. You start and finish at the same location.
Oh, nice.
And you go through a finish line and everything.
And everybody cheers and yells.
And everyone
screams
cheers.
your name.
And
that's what makes it fun, right?
yeah. And there's different categories for ages. So there's trophies for, the different age groups.
If someone's interested in sponsoring, and I'm trying to get you some Long Island businesses here, if they want to be a sponsor, you mentioned about getting the name on the shirt. Are there different levels? Like, are there flags that are put up or signs? Or I know on a golf outing, you can get a little sign on a green, or you can sponsor the golf shirt that they have, and the golf hats. There's so much stuff. Is there anything we should know about?
It's actually not that formal. So it's really just the T-shirts at this point in time. If somebody is interested in becoming a larger sponsor than that, and I'm happy to talk to anybody who would be interested in supporting the local community and working with us on this, they could, again, just email me at info@uscoffee.com, and we could set up a call about what other levels of sponsorship there could be. I'm certainly open to it.
Right. So in a lot of runs, I know people will put together their little teams, or they want to run in groups, or you mentioned even running as a family. How do you encourage that? Do you want people to band together to come to this event?
Yeah, well, of course, you're welcome to band together. We really don't have it's not a big event like some of these other events where there are dozens of teams that show up that are doing their own fundraising. This is really a smaller event. It's really us.
Yeah.
It's really just us trying to put this together.
Yeah.
So bring your family, bring your friends. We certainly encourage you all to run and walk together. And if you want to run in memory of somebody or in honor of somebody, that's certainly encouraged, and you could do that on the registration page also.
Okay. Do you see people wearing certain things that say running in memory of, or is that how that, will they wear certain shirts that signify that? Do you see that happening some? Yeah,
there are people who wear shirts to honor their loved ones or their friends.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Now, Doug, I'm trying to educate some businesses out there that, and it might be the smaller ones that we typically see on Long Island, the 3-person law office, 5-person accounting firm. If they would like to get involved, or they have someone in their family and they say, this would be a great opportunity to help, give us some ideas. Do you suggest to them to notify their patrons or their clients or their customers to get them involved? Do they put a little container in the office? Do they sell chances, or how could they help out?
Well, certainly by sharing the link to register with an email blast to their existing network, their business network, their friends and family network. Sharing it on social media is how we've been doing it. So sure, do a Facebook post, do an Instagram post, send out emails to everyone who you know. but mostly we just go by sharing the registration link.
That's actually, I didn't think of that, but it's so simple. Today you can send out the networking through the emails, and a small firm can hit anywhere from 500 to 5,000 people, because these are their either past clients, potential clients, future clients. And even if they pick up 1% of that, that's 50 new people donating to you. That's some pretty good numbers.
No, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I really encourage that. That would be great.
So anybody out there, if you're looking to sponsor a worthy charity, if you get involved with Doug, and we'll make Doug work, call him up, tell him you want to sponsor, let him figure this out for you. He'll either get you on the shirt, or he'll tell you how you can network, get the word out, and bring in some more dollars to help these people, right?
Yeah, and an inexpensive way to get the word out on your business and also support a great cause. I'm happy to do it and work with whoever wants to reach out to me.
You are listening to My Hometown on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. My name is Stacey Rain. I'm here with Bill Horan, and we're learning all about the U.S. Coffee 4-mile run walk for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we're talking with the organizer, Doug Schindler, and he's also the sponsor of the event happening on Saturday, March 30th. So, Doug, there might be some people that are listening that think, you know what, this cause is really important to me. I have friends, I have family that has gone through this. I want to run it, but they've never done a run before. What's your advice for them?
Well, certainly there's no need to be intimidated by what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. It is called a fun run.
Yeah.
So you could take it as seriously or informally as you want. Mm-hmm. Just show up. If you want to run, great. If you want to walk, you could join me as I'm walking also.
Yeah.
If you want to jog, you jog. Again, it's only 4 miles. And if you don't finish it, if you only want to do half of it, no problem also. It's no one's going to say anything to you.
Yeah. So it is what you make it. And it's just the point is to get out there and support this.
Show up, support the Leukemia Lymphoma Society, support all the people who are going through treatment and, just trying to get
through the day and
get through the day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, where do the funds go, Doug, eventually? Whatever's raised from here, is this to research? Is this to medical care for the runners' families who may be suffering from this disease?
I do believe that most of it goes to the team in training part of the Leukemia Lymphoma Society to continue to support this division, you would say, of Leukemia Lymphoma Society. So I know they have research parts of it. But we feel that this is an important part of what they do also.
I've done some runs in the past, and I know crossing that finish line after a few miles is always a big, it's a good feeling. So what's that like for you when you cross that finish line every year?
When I do cross the finish line?
Right, yeah.
If I do cross the finish line?
Yeah.
It feels great. It's great to know that we had another successful run, another year in the books, another year raising money for this cause. So it's always a good accomplishment, especially when I have my friends and family around also.
Oh, definitely.
Doug, I'm just thinking of it. Is this something you work on throughout the year? Because all of these things, they look so well run when we, the participants, go out there and, sign up and just run or do whatever we do. But there's a lot of work that goes into it. Do you start this like months ahead?
We do start months ahead. We have to, again, get the permitting in place and make sure that everything is set for the year. But it doesn't take the whole year, just a few months in advance.
What's the toughest part? Do you have a problem getting the permits, or is it, sometimes it's something that seems easy, there's just, loggerheads in there that make life difficult. Is it getting the right permits set up or getting the time you want, or...
Well, that's always nerve-wracking to make sure that we get it. But so far, we haven't had a problem. And for me, it's just, again, trying to get the word out, trying to do the best we can to get as many participants as possible.
I'm going to venture to guess that the easiest part for you is making sure there's coffee.
Indeed, yes. Yeah.
And it'll be good hot coffee, too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
And you said bagels, and it sounds delicious.
Hot coffee. Last year, we had cold brew coffee for people that wanted it.
Yeah.
A ton of fruit, a ton of pastries. So
Of all these flavored coffees, now I'm a traditionalist. I go with the basic coffee. But which is the one I think you were saying before? Is it the pumpkin flavor that's the big seller?
That's definitely the big fall seller for sure.
Yeah. It goes in seasons, Bill.
Oh, all right.
You need
Okay.
to brush up on your coffee knowledge.
It is. Like I said, every time I try a flavored one, I have to admit, I'm just not for it. I love coffee, but I'm the traditional, old school, give me the basic cup of coffee. My wife has like 18 different flavors floating around in those little pods around the house, but I stick with the basics. So
You're like me, just black, no milk, no sugar. Just,
well, I go for a little creamer in there, but other than that, pretty much the basic, and I'll go with that. Doug, before we wrap up, can you tell us once again, give us the details if someone is out there, whether they want to be a sponsor or whether they want to take the opportunity to take part in the race or the walk part of it. How can they do it?
Well, if you're available on Saturday, March 30th, please join us on the Long Beach Boardwalk. You could register on active.com and search for the U.S. Coffee 4 Mile Run 2024. You could also go on to the www.tinyurl.com/LLS run, or you could go to, you could email me at info@uscoffee.com, and I'll make sure you get the information sent to you if you didn't get that.
That's the one that sounds simple. info@uscoffee.com.
Yeah, and now that we're talking about it, we do have a page on our website, but I'm going to put something on the homepage of the website also to make it easier for everyone to find, and that's just uscoffee.com.
There you go.
Well, on behalf of the people who are benefiting, I want to thank you for everything you're doing, all the work you're putting in, and the people who are working with you. There's always the people who don't get the credit, but they're doing something there, whether they're guarding the bagels or making the coffee or just getting out there early to make sure everything is set up. So thanks so much to you and your team.
There's a lot of people that are trying to do the right thing and are happy to volunteer. It's really heartwarming to even see that part of it.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'd like our audience to know our guest today has been Doug Schindler from U.S. Coffee. He's the organizer and sponsor of the U.S. Coffee 4 Mile Run Walk for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, and that's happening on Saturday, March 30th in Long Beach, right on the boardwalk at the Allegra Hotel, was it?
Yep, the Allegria Hotel.
There's all the details. You've got everything. Doug, thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm Bill Horan. I'm here with Stacey Rain. We thank you for listening to this week's edition of My Hometown.
We like to get your feedback on My Hometown. Send your comments to WHPC@ncc.edu. Nassau Community College, where success starts and continues. Till next time, this is Bill St. James. And remember, there's no town like your hometown.